You was good, Joey, back again with another Bible study, okay? Today we in 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5, and it says, what they talking today? It says we demolish every argument and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ. Now, when Paul says this in his letter to the people in Corinth, he's talking about the battles that we have to face in our mind, the battles that we have to face when we have to fight against the devil and against his schemes. We're not talking about simple things back and forth, no regular conversations. We talking about spiritual struggles, because right before that he talks about the battles that we face are not against flesh and blood, they're not against the world, but they're against the strongholds of this world. You feel me? So when he says these things, you got to recognize that we're not talking about any regular argument. We talking about mental battles. So this is why also later on you see Paul talking about the armor of God. We talk about the helmet of salvation, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the spirit, which is the word of God. We got the shield of faith. All these things are metaphorical in terms of how they'll actually be viewed, but these are things that we use in the spirit to combat the enemy, okay? So when you're going through a situation where you feel like you might not be good enough, or you doubt yourself, remind yourself that you're more than a conqueror. When you're going through a situation and you feel like you're lacking in an area, remind yourself that if you remain in the vine and the vine remains in you, you will bear much fruit, because Jesus is the vine. You feel me? You got to remind yourself of the word and what God says about you to defeat your thoughts and to defeat the things that make it seem like you aren't enough, or the things that make it seem like you're lacking or doubting yourself, or just things of that nature. Remind yourself of the word of God and what God says about you and what God says about what you're going through, and not what the world says. All right? I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon, okay?